Writing a children's book about grief to comfort your sons is a noble act. Unless, of course, you are the reason their father is gone. Kouri Richins believed he was celebrating a business milestone with a simple Moscow Mule prepared by his wife. He had no idea that drink contained 5 times the lethal dose of fentanyl. 1 year later, Kouri Richins sits in a courtroom. Not as a grieving widow, but as a suspect in a cold-blooded assassination for a multi-million-dollar insurance payout. This isn't just a murder. It's the anatomy of a betrayal hidden behind a suburban picket fence. Welcome to the Bone Library. Today we're doing a deep dive into the disturbing double life of Kouri Richins. To the outside world, Kouri and Kouri Richins lived the quintessential American dream. Based in the quiet town of Kamas, Utah, they were raising 3 young boys while running seemingly successful businesses. But behind closed doors, Kouri's personal library was being written in the ink of massive financial insolvency. Kouri was an ambitious real estate agent, but that ambition was fueled by a hidden rot. Our deep dive into the case files reveals she was drowning in over $2 million of debt. She had been taking out secret loans, forging Eric's signature on financial documents, and even attempted to change the beneficiary on Eric's $2 million life insurance policy to herself, all without his knowledge. Eric was no fool. He had begun to sense the walls closing in. In fact, he had survived a brush with death long before that final night. On Valentine's Day 2022, just 1 month before he died, Eric became violently ill after a dinner with Kouri. He suffered a severe allergic reaction that nearly took his life. It was then that he told his family a sentence that now echoes as a chilling prophecy. "If anything happens to me, my wife is the reason." So, why did he stay? Psychological analysis suggests a classic pattern. Eric stayed for the children, hoping to keep the family unit intact. But he wasn't defenseless. In a silent move of legal chess, Eric secretly changed his will. He removed Kouri as a beneficiary and appointed his sister as the trustee for his estate. It was Eric's final line of defense. This is where the value of this case lies for us to study. Kouri was trapped in a lethal delusion, believing that a lifestyle of luxury was worth more than a human life. She didn't just want the insurance money. She wanted to erase Eric from the narrative to bury her own financial failures. She believed she was executing the perfect crime. She had no idea that Eric had left behind a digital trail and a family testimony that would eventually become the very noose around her neck. Following Eric's death in March 2022, initially ruled an overdose, Kouri Richins didn't retreat into the shadows. Instead, she stepped directly into the spotlight. Just 1 year later, she released a children's picture book titled, "Are You With Me?" She toured local news stations, rebranding herself as the ultimate supermom, helping her children navigate the impossible waves of grief. But while she was promoting a story of healing to the public, detectives behind the scenes were reading a very different story: the digital footprint and the autopsy of Kouri Richins. The toxicology results were staggering. Inside Eric's system, investigators found illicit oral fentanyl in a concentration that made accidental ingestion impossible. It was 5 times the lethal dose. A deeper dive into her history revealed that Kouri had contacted an acquaintance, a known drug dealer, to purchase powerful pain medication, claiming it was for a back injury. But the most naked evidence was found on her phone. Detectives uncovered a search history that would chill anyone to the bone. She had searched for, "Can police see deleted messages?" Fentanyl lethal dose. And perhaps the most haunting of all, is there a life insurance payout for accidental overdose? This is the depth of manipulation we archive here at the Bone Library. Kouri used her own children's trauma as a marketing tool to camouflage her tracks. That book wasn't about healing. It was a psychological shield. She gambled on the idea that if she looked like a loving mother in the eyes of the public, no one would believe she was a cold-blooded executioner. However, in the world of forensics, lies can be written in books, but the truth is etched in data. And the data proved that on the night Eric died, there was only one person who prepared that drink, one person who watched him consume it, and one person who waited in the dark until his heart finally stopped. May 2023. The world Kouri Richins built collapsed the moment the handcuffs tightened around her wrists. The Summit County Court began to peel back layers that left the American public speechless. You see, this wasn't just about an insurance policy. Our analysis here at the Bone Library identifies a pattern of acute financial narcissism, a state where the perpetrator feels entitled to the fruits of someone else's labor, even if the cost of that entitlement is a human life. Eric's family was never truly fooled. His sister revealed in court documents that they had harbored suspicions long before the toxicology reports came back. They witnessed Kouri attempting to seize Eric's assets just hours after his body had gone cold. Here lies the tragedy, but also a vital lesson for us all. Eric Richins saved his children's future not through physical confrontation, but through legal intelligence. He had quietly moved his assets into a trust that Kouri couldn't touch. It was a masterstroke of legal chess that rendered Kouri's murderous motive financially worthless. So, what are the solutions and values we can take away from this haunting case? First, financial transparency is a survival tool. In many of our deep dives, we find that financial secrets are often the precursor to domestic violence. If a partner begins hiding massive debts or forging signatures, it is no longer just a money issue. It is a glaring red flag for your personal safety. Second, the power of legal safeguards. Many people find discussing wills or prenuptial agreements unromantic or taboo. However, Eric Richins teaches us that legal paperwork is the ultimate act of love. It is the final shield for those you leave behind. Eric provided a blueprint on how to protect a family from betrayal, even when that betrayal comes from within the home. The deepest value here is about intuition. Never ignore that small voice in the back of your head. Eric knew something was wrong. He took the necessary legal steps, and though he tragically lost his life, his foresight ensured that his killer would never enjoy a single cent of his hard work. His legacy remained with his children exactly as he intended. Kouri Richins currently awaits her day in court. The book she wrote to heal grief now stands as a permanent, ironic monument to a failed manipulation. It is often said that the truth can be buried, but it never truly dies. In the case of the Richins family, the truth was found between the lines of a story that should have never been written. What do you think? Is a life sentence enough for someone who trades their partner's life for an insurance payout? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Your perspective helps us dig deeper into these archives. Thank you for visiting the Bone Library. I'll see you in the next deep dive.